It's a lesson learned. I bite down on my tongue. I'll be there in the long run. I resent love that's earned. It's a lesson learned. Lesson learned. I bite down on my tongue. I'll be there in the long run. I resent a love that's earned. It's a lesson learned. I bite down on my tongue. I'll be there in the long run. I resent love that's earned. It's a lesson learned. Lesson learned. I bite down on my tongue. I'll be there in the long run. I resent a love that's earned. It's a lesson learned. I bite down on my tongue. I'll be there in the long run. I resent a love that's earned. It's a lesson learned. Lesson learned. Okay. Welcome. You caught me in the middle of singing practice. Forgive me. But welcome to another bloody episode of the apocalypse. Can you bloody believe it? Donnie hasn't nuked the Earth yet, so we've got that going. You cunts, and you know who you are, that made this thing fucking happen. 'Cause you thought it was a football game. You thought it was wrestling. WWF. Fake. Like your existence. Like your Antichrist. But let me say something about protests. I wasn't planning on saying any of this, by the way. I understand a big protest is coming up, and I would never say to people, no matter how dire, if you want to go out and protest, that is your right, and I think it's a good thing. People want to do something, and that's something some people can do. Others can do other things that are effective in different ways. And although the end result will still be the same, that doesn't mean we should all just let it happen. So I commend anyone that's brave enough to go out and protest. Anyway, let me begin. Larry Ellison, this is from yesterday, I believe, yes. Larry Ellison just deleted his X account. He didn't use it that much anyway, but there's another reason. I guess there's more dirt about his relationship with Jeff Epstein that's about to drop. He appears in 85 of the Epstein docs. I didn't know that when I read this. I wasn't even sure if Ellison was in there. He's obviously in there. I've seen other information, so we know why the Reich chose Mr. Ellison, because he wanted them, a pedo. He compromised like a motherfucker. He'll keep the secrets like the rest of them. So now you know why Mr. Ellison is the one chosen to buy up all the networks and some social media and whatever he can get his fucking hand. Didn't he get TikTok too? It's also bloody crooked, and they're all fucking pedophiles, man. "85 of the documents he's in. I believe he's the one that he says AI needs access to our personal info, which it's already gotten, don't worry. But they just haven't told us that yet. Because you might get mad. And I wouldn't blame you. This was Hegseth yesterday, with Donnie standing next to him, and he's at the podium. And he says a real famous line. "We negotiate with bombs." Yes, we know, Mr. Hegseth. 200 people down in the Caribbean, you're a mass murderer. We know. And then 80 on land. And then you stole their oil. And you thought you'd steamroll Iran the same fucking way, but it's really not looking like, what are we on, day 30 or something? I don't even know. And Iran hasn't budged, son. I saw a picture of one of their underground facilities, a diagram of it. It's under granite, son. Like 400 feet down or something. You ain't touching that with nothing. Probably drop a nuke on top of that peak and it wouldn't touch what's underneath. So that's the type of terrain we talking about, man. And I already knew this before this shit started. It's a nightmare to ever try and occupy that country in any fucking way. And you can bomb it from the air all fucking day and all night, and a good percentage of the structure and their ability to fight will still be there, because what bomb's going to take out, 400 feet of granite, son? It's just not going to work. They have a natural shield for a lot of their shit, a lot of their facilities. And I've seen footage of some of the underground that they were willing to show. And it's just rows of drones, rows of missiles. So they got us in some shit here, and maybe that's what they intended to do, son. We negotiate with bombs. Okay, so when you say that out loud, and this is after the United States was in the middle of negotiations with Iran, and all of a sudden they're bombing. So Iran's like, oh, I guess the negotiation didn't mean shit, and your word doesn't mean shit, since you bombed us in the middle of negotiations. So we can't trust you on that. Then we get your drunk ass, alcoholic ass Secretary of War saying we negotiate with bombs. Okay, so what incentive is there for us to stop fighting, asshole? When the man says it out loud like that. Oh, you negotiate with bombs. Okay, so I guess we've still got to fight this thing out then. I guess the strait's still closed. You want to come through, that's 5 million. The strait was open before Donnie and Pete started this thing, and Bibi. Now, American soldiers will die. It's inevitable for this. More than that has already died. More than that. Because there's no other way to open it. And I don't see Iran saying, okay, we'll open it. And when you got this asshole saying we negotiate with bombs, the leader of our military, basically, I really don't see an incentive for a country to say, okay, let's just stop fighting then. This is a fucking disaster waiting to happen, and certain people, and I'm wondering as well, do they want to get us mired down in some long fight? That way they use it for the election. And then there's this. This came out yesterday too. Effective April 20, U.S. Army has increased maximum enlistment age from 34 to 32. And I forgot about this part. When I read it yesterday, I realized, and I had forgotten, right at the top. effective April 20. Isn't that Hitler's birthday? Didn't Leon call Grok 4.20 or something like that? Didn't Leon do a Nazi salute? Doesn't Pete have white supremacist tattoos? And then, right as they get us involved with something that could easily turn into a fucking world war, and we still in it, it's not over. All of a sudden, in the middle of that, effective April 20, now if you're 42 years old, you can enlist and go through boot camp at 42, son, and go get shot the fuck up or hit with a drone in Iran. Or the next country they invade, or the next one, or the next one, or the next one, or the next one. So, because let's say this isn't about the Iran thing. What it is about is they plan on fighting a lot more wars, using soldiers for a lot more things. That's you. And there's more. They took away the prohibition. I guess if you test positive for marijuana, they'll still take you. Isn't that nice of them? You get locked up if you have a bag of weed on the street. Or if, you can't get a job if you smoke weed when they drug test you. But you can go die for America, for the Reich. And every Republican state will fight tooth and nail to keep weed illegal because they want to be the drug dealers. And then they say, oh, hey, stoners, come on and enlist. Be some cannon fodder. You're not unacceptable then. Let's look at this because I didn't look at the actual. It looks like this. Summary of change. Remove commander. What is this? Oh, it's in red. Increase the maximum enrollment age up to and including age 42. They made sure to add that, including 42, so you know. For non-prior service applicants. Okay, there's that. Now, I just thought of something. If they raise the voluntary enlistment to 42 from 34, is there going to be a draft and they're going to take up to 42-year-olds? I knew they would do this. I've been thinking about it for a while. I was wondering if they would take 50-year-olds. These are evil fucks, man. Is this a signal that when a draft comes, oh, we'll draft anyone up to 42? And then maybe they'll raise it to 50. Because they just want they just want bodies. They don't care if you live or die. So again, if this isn't about Iran, then it's about the next 30 wars they start. Because Antichrist, Four Horsemen, all that shit, yeah. I don't know who the exact Four Horsemen are. We could take a guess and we could try and figure that out, but does it really fucking matter? They hear. And they do what they think. Wait, what is this? Why is it written twice? Up to and including 42. Oh, for applicants with prior military service. So, with or without prior military service, still take your ass at 42 if you'd like to enlist. And I guess when the draft happens, it's going to go up to at least 42. Because that's what Hitler would do. And then when he gets real desperate, then it's up to 50, 55. Then it's children, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 11, 12. When it gets desperate, son, You watch Jojo Rabbit? You should watch it. Eliminates requirement of a waiver for single conviction of possession. Oh, you can have a conviction of possession. Or a single conviction with drug paraphernalia. So if you got a weed charge on your jacket, you can still join. Did I tell you he's the Antichrist? Did I tell you in the apocalypse? Did I mention the draft? He doing exactly what I thought. I've been thinking about that for a long time. I've been wondering my ass would get drafted and I'd have to, go to jail for not fucking fighting for the Reich at 50 years old. You know what I mean? Don't put it past him, son. You think you're safe beyond it at 45, 43, 40? You thought that, right? Not no more. Don't worry, when they get desperate enough, they'll move up to my age. I ain't fighting shit for them. Fuck out of here. Meta found guilty of child exploitation in New Mexico. I talked about this earlier. I'm not going to go into it again. 375 million. Could be a template for other states, indeed. And then today, the judgment against Google and Meta as well. I'm going to take a break real quick. I wanted to smoke before I came on and I didn't. I'm like, let me just sing this thing before I smoke because my voice will be a little weaker after the cigarette. I don't feel like fighting it. I'll be right back. Okay. Palantir AI helped detect, prioritize, and strike 1,000+ targets in Iran in the first 24 hours. We all know they used AI for targeting. And that should be talked about a lot more, that we're letting an artificial algorithm choose targets for bombings, for fuck's sake. They just want to rely on it for everything, and it's nowhere near ready to be relied on for everything. They want that utopia so strongly that they're going to force it. Even though AI adds no value, it's going to put everyone out of work, and it will do a terrible job. It already has. It's misidentified people. Flock cameras have misidentified people. And cops show up with guns to get that person. It's already happened. The technology is not perfect. Be it the flock camera and that whole system, the AI algorithms, the license plate readers, they're not accurate. They fuck up sometimes. Again, when I use AI to make these thumbnails, half the time it can't even spell a two-word phrase properly. Now, we using it for target. They want to use it, again, to deploy a drone to be able to come kill you. I told you this fucking over a year ago. But it's gonna fuck up. Not that it should be doing that anyway. I mean, what a dystopian fucking nightmare that we're even discussing it. That Hexest isn't in fucking prison for just trying to make it happen. That Altman isn't in prison. That Donnie isn't in prison. That same day, 175 children were killed. Yeah, of course. We all know they used AI. It gave them a bunch of targets, and Pete, go bomb them. Go ahead, boys. That's all that happened. The school was hit by a tomahawk, and we know a bunch of children were killed, and adults. The future of war is now outsourcing life and death decisions to algorithms built by defense contract. Yeah, Altman, Thale, yeah. Grok's in our military systems. They're throwing Palantir in there as well. Obviously. I just read that headline to you the other day. Palantir is all integrated. In other words, they're deploying this technology as if it's perfect, and it actually works, and it doesn't. And what they really want it for is bombings and surveillance and policing you. That's all it was ever good for. Omnipresence and to flip a switch so a drone can come kill you if you say Pete Thale's a dickhead. Or Donnie's a scumbag on 57th Avenue. I'm not kidding. That's the world they want. And they're making it happen. Will it work? No. But people going to die in the process. The day after a jury convicts Meta of illegally endangering children, Trump puts Zuckerberg on a panel overseeing AI regulation. Trump to name Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, and Jensen Huang. Two of those people are in the Epstein files, by the way. I'm not sure about Huang. Maybe he is too. Who the fuck knows? He's a fucking criminal, though. I'm reading you that for a reason. These court cases and everything are going somewhere, but I have to explain it because everyone's acting like it wasn't already going there anyway. Florida election records show Trump, Melania, and Barron all voted by mail in Florida HD 87 special election. This is despite the fact that Trump calls voting by mail cheating and is trying to significantly restrict voting by mail in his Save America Act. What were the trolls saying about this today in the bots? I forget. They were trying to paint Donnie as he never said all voting by mail is bad and cheating and blah blah blah. But that is what he said multiple times over and over. But it's never about real principle or anything real. It's just about stopping you from voting against him. That's all it's for. His tirades for 10 fucking years about how mail-in voting's horrible. And then he mail-in votes. And he doesn't have to. But, you know, again, all the people that want to vote against him, he doesn't like that option for you. That's the problem. And he knows all the geriatrics go on voting day, and they're all the ones that vote Republican. So, you know what it is. A hooker and a robot. This was at the White House today, I believe, and this robot, remote controlled, I'm sure, not walking on its own, autonomous, because none of them can do that yet, reliably. They deployed those delivery mini remote control cars, whatever the fuck, they're AI driven cars, you know, to try and put all the delivery drivers out of business. And they keep damaging property. They run up on curbs and they get stuck. I mean, why would you order something from a robot to get to your door? You're just asking for problems, man. I would never do it. If I knew a robot was, or one of those little AI-driven cars was bringing my food, I'd just be like, just don't bother. I'll call someone else. The fuck? So this is what it looks like. And they made a big deal about it. And I don't know whose robot this is. I would assume Leon's. I don't know. You'd figure they'd want to promote that one. But Leon's robots aren't autonomous. They have to be, you know, controlled. So she walked out, the robot walked out next to her, and I couldn't tell which one was the robot. Because that's how much personality they both have. And they're both fake as fuck. I didn't listen to the robot talk. I heard it spoke in a Valley Girl accent or something. Wow, and I'm sure there was some guy behind the curtain remote controlling this thing. Because that's how they have to do it. Fucking joke. We have to go down. Yeah, look at this picture again. And realize this is the end of the empire. For this. And their utopia is that one of those robots replaces you for your job. AI replaces you for your job. And none of us have jobs. And I had an epiphany. Because I've wondered for decades. Okay, the rich want all the money. They want us to have nothing. No rights. Be all slaves. They want to kill a lot of us. Eugenics. I saw the email, son. So let's not pretend they don't talk about it. They don't want it to happen. They hate the poor. They never mind, putting their hand out for welfare from the poor, though. The taxpayer. And I remembered Miss Rothschild and Jeffy joking about growing humans in a lab. And I thought, is that the utopia? Most of the peasants are killed because they won't go along with whatever, or they won't be slaves, or whatever happens, or eugenics. Is that the plan? Like, get rid of all real humans and just grow these ones in a lab that, you can train from amoeba to never disobey or something? Is that the plan? But then again, they still need to eat too. My point is, they want all the money, but when the peasants have no money, they can't buy their shitty products and services. So how do they make money? Well, then I thought, they just do the slave labor thing. But then who are the customers? It still doesn't work. Growing people in a lab. I'm just wondering what the utopia is. Get rid of the peasants for these? Is that the utopia? Who do you victimize and steal money from, though? Again, where's the profits at? If no one can buy your stuff. kind of baffled here. I guess that's Satan's logic. Donald Trump called mail-in voting cheating on Monday. That same day, news broke that he just voted by mail in Florida. His polling place is a 15-minute drive from Mar-a-Lago. He spent the last 2 weekends there. He mailed it anyway. Just for convenience, Don, he does it. Everybody else wants to, oh, they're cheating. You know, they might have legitimate reasons. They might be infirm. They might be very old. They might be overseas. They might be on vacation. Whatever. He just did it. He lived right down the street. And he's like, I just don't feel it. I'll just mail it in. That shit I say, that's all bullshit so I can steal an election. Doesn't matter. He's now holding the entire country hostage to pass a bill making it harder for you to vote the way he just voted. Yeah. That should tell you what it's about. Stopping you from mail-in voting. I heard the post office is about to run out of money. Guess when? October. Convenient. I heard there was a court decision where it doesn't matter if your mail makes it. Not too obvious, huh, son? This is Donnie today, I believe. I'm so proud of ICE. They were unfairly maligned by the lunatic Democrats for years. Really? Unfairly maligned as they raped, kidnapped, terrorized communities, tear gassed everyone, murdered 2 U.S. citizens right in front of us, tried to murder a third one, murdered another one the March prior that we didn't hear about for a year because you're cunt liars of Satan and murderers. You're not going to believe this. He thinks he's going to rehab their image, son. That's what he's talking about here. The child telling us literally outright, I'm trying to rehab the Gestapo's image. In addition to what they are doing, supposed to be doing, they're helping people with bags, even picking up cleaning areas. They are so proud to be there. They don't look proud. They look pissed off. They can't wear the mask and everyone knows who the fuck they are and are being cataloged. Literally. I watched someone on Twitter from a TikTok video literally catalog these faces. One after the other. Search their names. Everything. Right on a phone. So there are many people out there and groups cataloging every dumbass that showed up without the mask. And I knew there would be. The second I saw they didn't have masks, I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. The fact is they shouldn't have to do this, but they are rehabbing a fake image given to them by radical Democrat politicians. He literally says it out loud, the plan. That he and they are rehabbing their image. You're not supposed to say that part. The public is loving ICE, so the Democrats unwittingly did us a favor. They are great American patriots. They just happen to have much larger and harder muscles than most. Really? Because I saw a bunch that looked like 15-year-olds. A lot of them, I'm not seeing the muscles, son. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. A lot of them are incels that are willing to take, as long as they can wear a mask, willing to take money to kidnap people and ship them to a concentration camp. Harder muscles than most, which is what they're supposed to have. Thank you to ICE for the great job you're doing. America very much appreciates it, President Trump. He literally says it. Yeah, we're trying to rehab their image. They shot a woman in the face. They shot a man in the back. They shot another woman 5 times. They killed a guy last March. They kidnap people. They terrorize communities. They mace people. They gas people. Babies. They grab kids at school. I don't know. They sound like terrorists, kidnappers, and murderers to me. That's what I'm hearing from my description there. You can't rehab that away, son. You can try. You're not Adolf Hitler. You're not that he was that good, but you're not even as good as him, man. Them picking up trash and helping with bags at the airport, that ain't going to change a damn thing. And every single day, the Democrats bring a bill to vote on to fund TSA, and the Republicans never let them do it. Because the right-wing grift machine and its maximum expression, because it was always this since before I was born, they're willing to starve millions to get the imp legislation in, son. The mass murdering Gestapo out on the streets to terrorize us. That's the point of this exercise. And now Donnie wants the SAVE Act as well. His election rigging bill. I'll just say this, you're on the wrong side of it. I don't care how Jesus-y you think you are. I don't care how family conservative you think you are. You can't be of Christ. You can't be a family conservative if you down with the Antichrist. And you don't, son. The best part of this horrid exercise you got me in, because I didn't pick him. It doesn't matter if you think he's the Antichrist. Fucking couldn't be more irrelevant, son. He still is. He is the literal antithesis of everything Christ is, God the Father is, and what Christianity is supposed to be. And somehow, people that think they are of Christ have their name on his literal enemy prophesied for thousands of years. That's how bad this thing is. That's how bad it's going to be. And again, son, so meaningless whether you agree with me, believe me. Still your reality, no matter what you believe, think, care about. You know what a lot of people have said for 10 years. You can't be a Donald Trump supporter and be a Christian. It's impossible. You can't be a Donald Trump supporter and be a patriotic American. Because he's a traitor. And again, it doesn't matter if you agree. I'm not debating you. Still your reality. Still my reality. The public isn't loving ICE. In fact, they're quite hated, hence the masks. Now those hated people get their faces cataloged. The other shoe drops. Donald Trump to appoint Zuckerberg, CIA frontman. This is the person I told you about earlier that wrote CIA frontman next to Zuckerberg. And I just always had a feeling about this motherfucker. I had no evidence, no reason to believe it, except for it came out of nowhere overnight, this Facebook thing. It took over. It had funding. Just, I thought even back then, I don't know, I'm kind of smelling a little CIA going on here. A little culture molding. Zuckerberg's the lead on getting this age verification, which is really everyone verification. If you want to use the internet, you got to show a fucking ID, biometrics, all of it. That's where it's going. That's where Zuck wants it to go. And they can sell that day after day, which they're probably already doing anyway. To a million companies and the Reich, son. Only viable business model left. Because as Zuck goes more full Reich, as Google and others, their tool's going to become useless and people will stop using it. So selling the info is all they got left. That's where you sheep come in a surveillance state and us having a digital identity to go along with our own identity in reality. All logged into the system. That way, once all the, again, the audio and the visuals, and, you know, they can tap your phone in a second and listen to that. And, you know, the person walking around with the iPods that now have the cameras on the outside, they get views from that. From your doorbell camera, they can get views and audio from that. A million different ways. So again, if you say fuck Donnie Shitbags on 57th Avenue and the AI hears it through the million different forms of surveillance and what it can tap into, flip a switch, does a quick, well, first a quick search on you, who you are you MAGA, are you this, are you that? That'll matter for a while, not forever. It'll check your social media. Oh, they're an enemy of the Reich. Flip the switch, drone, you're dead. Or maybe someone else is dead when the drone fucks up. So Zuck, CIA frontman, the person wrote, Larry Ellison, who just deleted his X account, and Jensen Huang under investigation following a recent scandal involving smuggling of NVIDIA chips by Supermicro employees to the Science and Tech Board. Jesus Christ, look at these people. This is the end of America right here. These faces and more, of course. Ellison, of course, he's in the... Look at his scumbag. He looks shady as fuck. He's the over-tanned one, or red one, with the shitty, I don't know, little conquistador mustache and mini beard. And Zuck, I don't even know what that is. He might be a robot or something. I don't know. Looks kind of plastic. You got Donnie Shitbags, and then you got the Huang criminal. End of America. This is Michael Steele making a point. Mail-in voting means mail-in cheating. That's a quote from Donnie. We are going to do everything possible to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. That's from Donnie. That's a quote. Elections can never be honest with mail-in voting. That's from Donnie. That's a quote. And Donnie and his whole family just voted by mail in Florida, and they didn't have to. They were under no hardship. They weren't traveling. They were right there 15 minutes away. So is it about mail-in voting being corrupt, class and rubes? Or is it about Donnie rigging the next election? Donald Trump just voted by mail, I guess, because he was told about a recent Brookings analysis finding mail-in voting fraud to be exceedingly rare. That has nothing to do with it. Donnie's just a hypocrite. He's using the mail-in voting thing. He wants that to go away because he knows that geriatrics come out on voting day. It's just how they like to do it. So voting day, it looks like the Republican might have a chance of winning. And then as the mail-ins come in, nah, sorry. You're unpopular, as you people always were. That's why you got to cheat. That's why voting day is not a national holiday. The Republicans would stroke the fuck out if we did that one thing, made voting day a holiday so everyone's off. No getting off work, no problems there, no inconvenience. Do your vote real quick. Or, you know, since they want digital presence from everyone, just make it an online thing where you vote. Never. Never. Republicans would stroke the fuck out. And that tells you how popular their ideas and their movement is. If you're worried about mail-in voting because you can't win elections, If you're worried about counting all the votes, then your movement isn't strong and not popular. It's that simple, and you know it. Meta and YouTube found negligent in landmark social media addiction case. That's today. The $375 million judgment was yesterday against Zuckerberg. I'm not sure what amount Google, YouTube, and Meta and Zuck will have to pay. But again, these are the people that tell me, take my channels down, defame me. I don't have a criminal record. I'm not getting gavelled in court, messing with children's minds and shit, getting them addicted, blah, blah, fucking blah. You are. Yet they tell us what we can say, when we can broadcast, what we can do. They are the moral authority. Two judgments in 2 days for Zuck. Meanwhile, on Iranian media, Iran produces 400 kamikaze drones per day. That's a quote. We've used 3,000 in 26 days. That's only 7 to 8 days of our capacity. What you've been hit with so far was just the appetizer. The main course is still to come, and I guess this is this guy saying it. That's what I was worried about, son. 400 new drones a day they manufacture. That's a goddamn nightmare. That's what I've been telling you for over a week. They're a weapons manufacturer. They supply Russia, and they are the king of drones, which means they're cranking them out because they're able to supply Russia. That's a huge country. This is AOC giving a little talk somewhere today. I don't know why she just all of a sudden did this, but I like what she did and I like what she said. Companies like Palantir are mining endlessly the data and privacy of the American people, keeping track of everything that they say and do. Yep. And sending it to militarized government. Yep. You mean the Reich? Miss Cortez? When you take the subway, when you share a TikTok, when you talk to your Alexa at home, they are collecting your data and figuring out new ways to weaponize it. Yep. About time a politician said this. They're a little late, though. This ball got rolling a while back, and there's no stopping it. Now they're using AI tools to automate this so it's not only pervasive, but that it's effortless. We must sound the alarm right. They don't need humans. They don't need loyalty. I've been telling you this for a while. With drones and AI. And it can be omnipresent. That's the biggest benefit of AI. To Pete, to Donnie, to the devil. I'm not kidding. The devil gets to be omnipresent for the first time in his miserable, worthless existence. And that's what all this is about. Sounding the alarm now, Miss Cortez, it's too late, unfortunately. Because Miss Cortez and the liberals in America don't have any power. The Rube said, fuck it, we don't give a fuck about our country. Just give it to Donnie. Let him loot, dismantle. I don't need the farm. Fuck it. So it's too late. The Democrats have no power, and the Reich, Donnie, etched in granite, never going to give them a chance to have power. He can't. It'd be the end of him. Just a few years ago, Sam Altman came before Congress in a direct plea. He begged us to regulate this industry. This is when he was pretending to be a liberal. He said that these tools were under no circumstances ready, nor should they be integrated into weapons of war. That we must impose severe regulations immediately to prevent mass layoffs, to ensure that any productivity that comes with this industry can benefit working people. 3 short years later, none of that has happened. She dead on. She's spot on. And Altman and Leon and all of them are doing an act before. When they were getting money from Democrats, that was an act. Now they're the real selves. And we know what they're about. And it's called Nazism. And much worse. Amazing that Altman's the one that warned the government, hey, we need to regulate this because this cannot be used for warfare. It's not ready for that. This cannot be used to take all the jobs. You need protections from that, regulations. He went from that to being the desperate guy with the AI model that can't make no fucking money. Not enough, anyway. Especially now, my God, it's over. Except for government cheese. He went from that, again, because he got desperate, to the guy that literally gave the algorithm to the government and said, yep, go ahead and use it for full autonomy. Killing people, whatever. Surveillance, whatever. It's amazing. Again, it's like these people don't actually believe in anything except them getting all the money and that being okay with all of us. And subjugating us. I just don't know how reliable AI and drones are going to be at policing people. It doesn't sound like they're very reliable. AOC again in her speech, these companies are not paying for their own energy. I've been talking about this for a while. They sharing the load with all of you. That's why everyone's getting $600 electric bills, $1,000. I mean, this shit's ridiculous. Straight fucking scam, my God. What people pay for utilities, especially electric. Why? Crypto mining and data centers, that's it. Nothing else. They sharing the load with your dumbass. I know. Donnie keeps talking every other week. They're all going to build their own power plant. I knew that wasn't true the fucking first time he said it. Are you fucking kidding me? You know what it costs to run a power plant? Nope. Just share it with you because they believe in socialism when it's sharing, the cost. When we talk about sharing the profits, oh, that's evil. That's of the devil. That's Marxism. No. When we're about to go bankrupt, though, hand out to the taxpayer. Socialism. Straight up. And then they're like, do we really have to pay back these loans? And they go, nah, you're rich. Just keep the peasants' money. Don't worry about it. People's energy bills around the country are skyrocketing in order to pay for these AI centers. Yep, I see people quote their bills online. Jesus Christ, it just... Electric bills are now what rent used to cost. $700. Working people are already living paycheck to paycheck in some states off wages as low as $7.25 an hour. This isn't sustainable. Satan. Antichrist. Greedy cunts at the top. It's not sustainable. Another federal minimum wage that Congress also refuses to raise. They simply cannot afford another increase to their bill. While the American people are suffering, big tech continues to demand more data centers, energy, more data collection, more American jobs, all on the feet of the American people to pay. All on the feet? I would have said all on the backs, but whatever. No amount of water ICE agents give out in airports will let people forget the murdering, kidnapping, and raping they are doing, right? That's what I've been saying. Mr. Covey. He always comes out with a good one. Very concise. Do you realize that's what that's how stupid he thinks we all are. He thinks he's Adolf Hitler. He thinks he can pull what Adolf Hitler pulled on people, and anyone's going to buy it. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? He's using this deployment in the airports. Donnie had the bright idea. I don't know who gave it to him. Stephen Miller? I don't know. I'll deploy them without masks, give their identity away since they're criminals and people can hold them accountable now. That's not why Donnie did it. Donnie did it because image rehab. That's why. He didn't like the look of it. The Gestapo is getting too hated. Got rid of the top two, Bovino and Nome. That's how hated they are. That took a big level of hate, too, for Donnie to make those moves. Nome did kind of fuck up, though. She ran her mouth. You can't do that. That's not allowed. Donnie thought, in his little feeble mind, in his Adolf Hitler grandeur, he thought by having the Gestapo pick up trash, help with bags. That's after they got their footage for Fox News of them molesting the small Latin woman and the child and kidnapping them and taking them away. That was planned before they got there, by the way. So after that, still unmasked, now they're picking up trash, helping with bags. I guess the footage where all the women were screaming as it was going on and how horrible it all looked, and I guess that didn't poll well. Donnie thought having them clean up trash, help with bags, not have the mask, that would rehab their image. Because he needs them to stand by election places when the next election happens. In a few months. He really thought that would work, huh? That's what we're dealing with. Donald Trump is sending thousands of troops to the region 25 days after claiming we already won the war. 25 days. Right. That's how you play three-dimensional chess. Right. Brilliant. Also, you could write three-dimensional, but just spell it, as the condition dementia instead of the way it's supposed to be spelled. So I stole this person's phrase for the title here. I thought it was brilliant. Three-dimensional, yep. With some imp thrown in. A lot of imp, actually. Imp gave him a seat. Let me take a break before I read the next thing. How long have I been going? Almost an hour? 58. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves, all -5 of you. Miss Levitt got up at the podium today. I only got a couple quotes for her. Not that great of a performance today. President Trump does not bluff. Any violence beyond this point will be because the Iranian regime refused to understand that they have already been defeated. That's a quote. I feel like I'm watching a bad movie. And she's like, one of the evil characters. Who says shit like this out loud? They don't understand their defeat. What? Are they still fighting, son? Is the strait still closed? Is the Navy still afraid to go through the strait? The most powerful military in the world with the most advanced technology, most money behind it, and training, and weapons. In other words, it sounds like, to me, the Reich doesn't understand that Iran isn't defeated, and they got the leverage like a motherfucker right now. The most powerful military is afraid to bring one of their warships through that strait. That's all I need to know, son. That tells me who got the power in this situation, and they got two options. Either parachute the fuck in wherever they decide to go, Karg Island, the coast of fucking the strait itself, wherever, or inland, wherever the fuck they decide to go. Iran's gonna know you're coming. Don't matter where you pick. And they can parachute in, or they can try a water landing and just walk up. Either way, people are gonna die. Guaranteed. No matter what option they choose, no matter what landing site, fucking meaningless. Iran already know you coming, and the trap's already laid. And yeah, you might win in the end, but it's gonna hurt. And you might not even win in the end. This could turn into a Vietnam where you turn tail and run. It's already happened in history to the greatest empire that ever existed. Militarily, I mean, not great as in moral, blah, blah, all that. Fucking joke. American exceptionalism. Fucking joke. So, Iran doesn't understand that they're defeated. That's Miss Levitt's take on it. Is there a Navy ship in a strait, son? If they dare try it, they're going to get sunk. That's all I need to know. A golden bust of Trump was on display at Mar-a-Lago this weekend. Yet another gold idol of Donnie made. We've seen gold statues of Donnie at Mar-a-Lago and other places. There's a Baptist church. I don't know if I told you about that. They're raising money to put a gold statue of Donnie up. I forget where it is. Alabama, somewhere like that. Could you imagine, son? Being a pastor of a congregation and asking a congregation in the world to give you money so you can build, son, a golden calf. A literal golden calf. Because it doesn't matter what the gold statue's of. Son, it's still a golden calf being built by a church. Can you fucking believe it? Did that pastor ever understand what Christ was about and what God is about? Because God does not take that lightly, son. Isn't that like the first commandment? No other gods before me. That's why he got so mad at the Jews when he freed them, helped them get away from slavery. And the second it got a little rough, let's build a golden calf. In other words, let's go back to Egyptian practices, back to our former life, and not follow the God of Israel, of our people. It's like the first commandment. God takes it very serious. This isn't a game you people playing. You think it's funny. You think it's cute. Building gold statues of Donnie, talking about it, gold coins, all of it. You think it's funny and cute. Utter offense to God, son. maybe the worst. Solomon, as many wives and mistresses as he had, the way it's written in Scripture, he started worshiping other gods because of these women. It opened the door for him to do that. And he walked through it. God turned him into a madman, into a raving lunatic in the woods with no money. Eventually, he made a comeback. But that's how quick it could turn. And that's what you fucking with. Solomon the Great. God punished him utterly for that specific thing you're doing. The golden calf, the story of the Jews after they left Egypt. That's what this type of shit is, and it's always gold. You notice that? The commercial for Trump Gaza, what did we see? Gold statue of Donnie on the Holy Land. You know what that is, son? Golden calf on the Holy Land, son. Do you know what an offense to God that is? That's why Donnie wants it. Gold, 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 gold. One of the major idols mentioned in the Bible was a golden calf. Egypt was all about gold, baby. So Donnie's a different thing. Do you get it now? This isn't normal. He wants his face on Rushmore while he's alive. He wants his face on money while he's alive that we spend. He's going to want us to all take his digital currency. He's going to want gold statues of him being made. In various locations, it looks like. This isn't the first golden image of Donnie made at Mar-a-Lago, displayed. There was a statue, remember? Here's Donnie tonight. He did some type of address somewhere. I don't even know what it was. It's a fucking difference. He went on a rant against the Supreme Court, and I knew he would. Again, I told you way before this happened. Tariff is his favorite grift. It's his personal bank account. That's Donnie's money. And I knew for months and months, since last year, we've been hearing the Supreme Court's eventually going to rule on this tariff thing. And Donnie's commenting on it every fucking day. How important the tariff grift is. To America. Not him, right? Right. So I said to you, if the Supreme Court rules against him, you're probably going to throw him all in fucking prison. And I wasn't kidding. That's his favorite grift again. So here we go. And I mentioned judges way, way back. I'm talking probably January of 25. Because certain rulings were made right before he got in. And right after. And I was saying back then, some of you might end up on the wrong end of the Reich. He does not care if you don't rule the way he wants you to. And by some of you, I mean the Republican justices that he appointed and others appointed. It's escalating. The Supreme Court cost our country hundreds of billions of dollars. Two of the people that voted for that, I appointed. You get it? And they sicken me. That's how serious it is. And I knew it. Again, back when I said that to you, if they don't fucking give him his favorite grift, if they take it away, they sicken me. They sicken me because they are bad for our country. You get where this is going, Miss Barrett? Even you people could end up in the gulag. I think I have another quote about that, but I'll get to it. Many of the 13 bases in the region used by American troops are all but uninhabitable, with the ones in Kuwait, which is next door to Iran, suffering perhaps the most damage. That's the New York Times that got that info. I thought they were defeated. I thought it was going so well. No, I knew because I've been looking at shit you people will never see. Because you got to look all day to parse through the bullshit, to find a thing here, a thing there. No, you won't see it on the news. Never. Things Iran says, things others that are analyzing this say. And you read between the lines and you get a picture. And the picture is Iran hit a bunch of bases in the Middle East, U.S. bases, to the point troops were scared to be there and they went to hotels and used people as human shields because they couldn't stay on the bases because they kept getting hit. According to the New York Times, many of the 13 bases are uninhabitable. First MSM admission I've seen of this fact. Right. This info's a little delayed. I already knew this. But the media wasn't reporting it, and the Reich sure wasn't fucking reporting that. I knew it from looking every day, and I mean looking, because it's hard to find info on this shit. Everyone wants to keep it quiet. Israel, Donnie, Hegseth, a lot of the Middle Eastern countries want to keep it quiet. They got laws against their people posting damage or missiles coming in. They don't... No one wants to let any info out on this shit. So you really got to search, and you really got to know who you're dealing with when they post something. And you have to go a different route to figure if it's true or not. And it's a pain in the fucking ass. And exactly what I thought, the New York Times is now reporting it, verifying it. That a lot of those bases got fucked up. As Donnie Day, we're winning, we're doing great, it's over, they lost. And an hour in, it's over, they got nothing left. Meanwhile, missiles are coming up, rains of missiles are coming over Israel every fucking night. That Bibi's like, threatening put everyone in jail if they show any footage. I assume any footage is coming from people like, in the Palestinian area, seeing it from a distance. Missiles got, hitting Kuwait, missiles hitting fucking Iraq, bases in Iraq, missiles hitting Qatar, missiles hitting UAE, boats getting fucking blown the fuck up, strait closed, now we charging $2 million a boat, fuck you. I mean, it's out of fucking control. Many of the 13 bases, uninhabitable, that's where we at. That don't sound like a defeated enemy. And the strait being closed don't sound like a defeated enemy. And it sounds like what Donnie just pulled this past weekend was, one, a market manipulation. So his son or whoever can make $300 million real quick off of straight inside information. His little comment that, the war's over, they're talking, we're going to have a deal. When there was jack shit. They were completely fabricated. So he manipulated the market, and his troops are still a week out when he pulled these moves. His troops he's bringing in. So he needed to delay a week. He gave him 5 days. I assume this weekend, if he's going to make a move, he would have him go in Friday night after the stock market closes, hoping it's all wrapped up by the weekend. Monday morning, it's over. I swear to you, that's what he's thinking. The whole attack will be based around the stock market. And they're going to get there Friday night, Saturday morning. And again, I don't care which way they go in, by sea or parachute in. You a sitting duck in a parachute coming down. That country is mountainous. It's enormous. They've got all kind of rock formations. They've got shit buried underneath. They got 2 million soldiers Even if they only have 1 million. Horrible. Because that number's probably inflated. Even if they have 900, 800,000. Horrible. It's a disaster waiting to happen. And I'm sorry, Iran's doing damage in Israel and around the Middle East. That's why our troops can't be on bases in the Middle East. They've abandoned them. That's serious, son. Pete and Donnie got just... They caught a punch to the jaw on this. Bad. And if they send troops in, and that seems like the only answer to Iran doesn't want to make a deal. It's going to be so much worse. Back to Donnie and the judges. We got rogue judges that are criminals. They are criminals. Criminals, you say. See how quick it can turn, Miss Barrett? You dealing with the Antichrist, honey. I know you think you're a Christian. The decisions that they hand down and hurt our country. He means they hurt me and my favorite grift always. Whenever he says the country. I made a lot of money for the country. No, for him and his buddies. When they rule against this tariff grift, they hurt the country. No. That's code for they hurt me. And I can tell you something. I've gone through it. I got a decision on tariffs that's going to cost our country hundreds of billions. There's that our country again. No, it's going to cost you hundreds of billions because you spent the money, you fucking thief. Potentially of refunds that he's never going to give because who's going to make him give? And the Supreme Court going to go arrest him? No, that money's never coming back, son. He'll still bitch about it, though, even though he kept it and spent it. The Supreme Court didn't want to put one little sentence that all that... One little sentence that all that money taken in up till this day doesn't have to be paid back. Look at what they did to college sports. Oh my God. He called them criminals, by the way. And it doesn't sound like he was just talking. Do you hear me, Miss Barrett? It doesn't sound like he was just talking about the liberal justices. This is exactly what I was talking about. That's Adolf. Doesn't even matter if he appointed the judge. Doesn't matter if you give him 10 rulings. You ruled against his favorite grift. He is incensed. And he does not have the money to pay it back. Not that he ever intended to anyway, no matter what judgment you put against him, but still. It's something looming over him that has him worried. And the main thing regarding all this with him is, son, you took his favorite toy away, his favorite grift, that's his personal bank account. He's mentioned tariffs every day for 10 years. Again, that's all I need to hear. Donnie said it's his favorite word. I'm surprised you people aren't in jail already. No one is special in this nightmare. Miss Noam thought she was special. Miss Bovino, Mr. Bovino, so many other people. You judges, you think you're special. He calling you criminals. Some of the ones he appointed, he calling you criminals too. How quick this can turn, baby. That's the devil. That's the Antichrist. That's Adolf Hitler. That's what you people fucking with. That's what you built. That's what you enabled. It's going to come at you with teeth out eventually. He already trying right now. Build animosity towards you. He's the reason the threats against judges have gone up 1,000,000-fold in the past 10 years. He's the reason. Iran has been laying traps and moving additional military personnel and air defenses to Kharg Island in recent weeks in preparation for a possible U.S. operation to take control of the island, according to multiple people familiar with U.S. intelligence reporting on the issue. Gulf allies are warning of significant U.S. casualties if U.S. moves forward with an operation there and advising against it. That's Natasha Bertrand. Yeah, the enemy's preparing. Of course they are. They know where the what the objectives are. And again, it don't matter where you come in at. Irrelevant. They'll know it's their country. You ain't gonna surprise them, son. Brother Malcolm Nance gives his assessment of that reporter's statement. I was waiting for this report, which means we are not interdicting small craft coming to Kharg. We can strike that island with drones all day long, but the only way to clear IEDs and mines and booby traps is by hand or stopping into them. FYI, the IRGC going to that island because they want to die. Be advised, the pumping stations and petrochemical refinery will be turned into one supersized IED-2. They produce propane and butane there. Oh my God. Oh God. And then you got dumbass Pete Hegseth, showing up with tanks, planes, missiles on an island full of butane and propane. What could go wrong, son? And then you got, Iran shooting missiles at it too. If America takes it, it's going to use it as a big bomb. Oh my God. IRGC get extra brownie points in heaven if they die in battle on Rabat, frontline post in defense of Islam. They go to Valhalla just with more virgins. And he's commenting again on what Natasha Bertrand just said. Them laying traps, getting ready for the invasion. It just... A lot of people are posting shit like this. And it worries me. The whole point of sending the 82nd Airborne to the Middle East is to get them killed. The Pentagon and Mossad want them to be killed. They want a Pearl Harbor 9/11 style event to galvanize support for their unpopular war. No event's going to change my mind. I'm still going to remember who started this, why it all happened, and why the straits closed when it was open prior to Donnie, Pete, and Bibi starting this bullshit because they thought it was Venezuela. Hey, we stole the oil. We killed like 200. It was quick and easy. That's not what this is. Obviously, we day 25, whatever, 26. And we seriously talking ground invasion. And I've been thinking this too. It would be a great excuse to prolong this for years, or just long enough to cancel the midterms. Once that happens, forget about it. Probably end it the next day or a month later. You get a couple thousand troops killed. A lot of Americans get pissed off of that. Most will still have the same opinion of this. It won't change my mind one bit. I think they're stupid for going. I think they should put the gun down. Go to the brig. Whatever you got to fucking do. You an idiot if you're going to go try and take Iran with boots. You should just put the gun down and not go, no matter what that costs you. Because if you do go, you might be one of that couple thousand that don't come back. So Donnie and Pete can have a talking point and keep this war going for a year. We're just past the midterms. I'm really worried about this too, that as they blunder around and they look stupid to all of us, maybe they want a bunch of U.S. troops to die. Maybe it helps their cause. I wouldn't want to be the troops being sacrificed, though, in that little scenario for the Reich, for the right-wing grift machine, for the fucking devil. What a waste. Seeing a lot of comments like that. Qatar says they are out of the war. They made peace with Iran after paying them $6 billion. Thanks for playing. Yep, Qatar made a deal with Iran. They don't want to fight. They don't want to get shot with more missiles because the U.S. ain't doing shit for them. And they're in the region. They got to be there. If Donnie goes away tomorrow and this all go, they still got to be there with Iran pissed off at them. They don't want that. They can't fight Iran. No one can. That's why the Saudis hate them so much. They got a bunch of oil like the Saudis do, and they got a military, and they got weapons like the Saudis do. The difference is it's a larger country. There's more people. There's more militarization. They tougher than the Saudis is what I'm trying to say. That's why the Saudis were like, great, that's our main competitor. They're the only one remotely close to our empire, Iran. We'd love to see them go down. We'd be number one. Iran knows that. That's why they got hit. That's why the Saudis got hit, I mean. So the Qataris are out. So there goes any help from them that Donnie's looking for. I haven't seen any countries volunteer yet. Where are they at? That's more leverage to Iran. Every country that takes that offer. I heard India's been paying the toll to get some ships through. Donnie's giving them an influx of cash, unsanctioned a bunch of their oil. Oh, Nancy Mason. The reason I'm reading this to you is it makes a point. Just walked out of a House Armed Services briefing on Iran. Let me repeat, I will not support troops on the ground in Iran, even more so after this briefing. Now, you can look at this two ways. Either the briefing contained how many people would die if we try this invasion, or the briefing contained, yeah, we're going to do it. Just letting you all know, and this is how it's going to go, quick synopsis. I'm thinking it's the second one. That she heard them say, yeah, we're going to do it. Yeah, it's going to go forward. And that's why she's running out the meeting saying, I am not voting for boots on the ground. Because she heard in the meeting that they're going to do boots on the ground. That's my assessment. I'm seeing a lot of comments like this. The Meta ruling is bad no matter how much you dislike Meta or how much New Mexico tries to pretend it's about product design. They're not pretending, first of all. There are children that have had their lives affected by social media. Then we find out there's meetings behind closed door. How can we target children more? So New Mexico isn't making shit up. Yes, there's an end goal going on here. But that's not what it's about down at that level. It's an attempt to get around Section 230 and First Amendment protections, hold platforms liable for user speech, do universal age verification, and end encrypted message. Now, these rulings against Google Meta, YouTube, they involve children and damage to children. What have we seen during this whole process while these trials were going on? Several websites and Mark Zuckerberg donate $2 billion to try and get this age verification uniformly across the digital world. So all of us have to have a straight digital ID that's in the system. For data collection, for surveillance purposes, for all kinds of great stuff. To make our lives miserable. Everyone's worried, not everyone, but some people are worried that, again, it's a way to get around Section 230 First Amendment protections, hold platforms liable for user speech, do universal age. So we have a problem with children, damage to children. Then we have some judgments against the companies. Then the companies can now say, well, we've made these mistakes in the past, or these judgments happened, and we're going to go a new direction. They won't say that part to you. They'll just say we're going to go a new direction to protect kids, even though they're the ones that preyed on them. Literally. Is this again a problem they created? Look, we're here to solve it. Age verification online. Everyone show us your ID. Give us more info about you. It's all very convenient, isn't it? And yeah, that probably is the plan with Google, YouTube. Zuckerberg says Donnie just gave him that position. Yeah, they're going to probably eventually use this as the excuse. We're protecting children because they've been hurt by online activity, namely us. So we need some IDs. And we need everybody's because we got to make sure you're of age. So that means even someone over age, we need an ID. Make sure you're not a child. Has nothing to do with children. Google, YouTube, and Meta are the ones doing damage to children. That's why the rulings happen. So I'm seeing this person, and I respect their opinion, and I get what they're saying, and they're probably right. I saw another person saying the same thing, that these rulings are horrible for that reason. I disagree. No matter what, little children, we were going to that surveillance and digital ID and age and turn your ID over. They want it there. All of them, Leon, Thale, Zuck, Sundar, Google, all of them want it there. So it's going there, no matter what. So in the process, I'm glad at least the children that were damaged and want to file a lawsuit, or their parents do, they will get paid. And I got a question. Can Google and Meta, can they last through 10,000 lawsuits to make it to their surveillance, we get your ID utopia? I don't know, man. That's a hell of a gauntlet. 10,000 more lawsuits over the same thing. Will you have any? How are you not going to be bankrupt? So I hope you make it to the finish line. So yes, the rulings, that may be the agenda here. The rulings come down. Oh, we got to protect children now. The government's telling us we have to. And, we had these rulings against us. And everyone's got to show an ID now. That might be the end result. But guess what? That was going to be the end result anyway. So I'm glad some victims are getting paid before that takes place. I like the rulings. They're correct. Look, man, when you go into a company's secret files, behind closed doors, what they really say and what they talking about, the strategies. Look, both of these companies, the strategy was, how do we get kids more addicted so they on the site all day? Once you have that evidence, what more need be said? You people, I mean, it's the smoking gun evidence that they were having meetings, strategy sessions, doing studies. How do we get more people addicted, more young people? We want this to be lifelong. The same thing with the cigarette companies. They want you to start smoking when you're 8 and you smoke the rest of your life. Hook you when you're young. I started when I was 17. Wasn't because of marketing, though. This is Donnie at the podium again. They want to make a deal so badly, but they're afraid to say it. Really? I see the spokesman and I see 2 other Iranian leaders and others saying plenty of shit every day. Talking abject shit on the Reich, actually. Calling them pedophiles, which is true. All kind of great stuff. They collecting tolls now at the fucking street. You made these people like 80 million times richer than they already were. So yeah, I don't think it's because they're afraid to say they want to make a deal. They figure they will be killed by their own people. They're also afraid they will be killed by us. No. The regime has the guns, not the people. Ron Filipkowski, they want to surrender to Trump, but the only reason why they aren't surrendering is because they are afraid. Right. And Ron Filipkowski and a bunch of other people said this, and I thought the same thing. When this war first started, I caught myself looking at Iranian social media posts to get the truth. And I am well aware that how the terrorism community, the Muslim terrorism community, I am well aware of the blatant fictional information they put forward. I've caught them many times. But Donnie is such a goddamn liar. The Iranians are more credible, son. Do you hear me? Just like Ron, I caught myself mid-moment. I was like, oh shit, I have more faith in what the Iranians say than the president, because the president's a proven compulsive liar. And he's not just lying for compulsion. He's lying because he's a maniac who wants to be Adolf Hitler. He wants to rule the world, take it over, take whatever he wants, be the king of the fucking earth. That's why he's lying. For the grift, for the murder, for all of it. To be king. And I'm at the point where I believe the Iranians more than him because he's such a fucking liar. Ron Filipkowski's at that point. I've seen many people make that same comment. Like, I'm trusting what the Iranians say more than Donnie. That's what level of a fucking liar he is. We almost done here? We got 2 more. All right, let me do these. Donnie again at the podium. He says it out loud. I won't use the word war because they say if you use the word war, that's maybe not a good thing to do. I mean, he's talking like an old man with dementia. They don't like the word war because you're supposed to get approved. Yeah, we know, Donnie. You're saying what you're doing illegally out loud. So I will use the word military operation. That's the phrase Vlad uses for his war in Ukraine. It's not a war. It's a special military operation. So, of course, Donnie uses that same phrase. Yet he says out loud, I'm only calling it war because of legal reason. Or, excuse me, I'm not calling it war. The only reason I'm not calling it war and calling it this other thing is because if I don't, that means I'm doing something illegal and I'm violating the Constitution and the whole thing. He says it out loud. Yeah, we know, Donnie. We know what the plan is. You shouldn't admit it, though. In other words, it's like saying, I'm not calling it a war because if I call it a war, then my war would be violating the law, which it is. Amazing. Oh, that was the last one. I got it twice. Incredible. Again, that's like an old man repeating what their health aide tells them. Oh, they tell me I'm not allowed to do that, so, I'm going to do this other thing. You're not supposed to say that out loud. That's like admitting to a crime. It's like admitting I'm intentionally using this phrase for legal purposes so I don't get impeached. Wow. Anyway, people, I don't know what else to say. I guess I'll say this. I am worried that Donnie used this little fake peace deal as nothing but a ploy for two things. To manipulate the market, and that was obvious. Definitely it was for that. And to buy 5-6 more days so the troops can get there. And he's going to invade them Friday night, of course, after the market close. And hope to have it wrapped up by Monday. I don't think it will be. If not this weekend, next weekend. Saturday and Sunday, the only days the market's closed. So expect anything that's going to happen those days. Friday night will be the beginning, I assume. Either this Friday, next Friday. And I'm also worried, just like a lot of other people that are saying it, that Pete and Donnie want a bunch of soldiers to die, and Bibi, he could fucking care less if American soldiers die. So they can really escalate this thing into a long term and keep it going at least till just past the midterm so we don't have to have them. They'll use that as the excuse. This major war. Zelensky hasn't had elections in a while because it's a major war. But Zelensky has the literal opposite intent of Donnie. He wants to help his people any way he can. Not grift and steal from them and betray them to Russia. Because that's what we got. So again, I'm worried that the invasion is going to come either this weekend or next weekend. I'm worried that a lot of troops will get killed. And I'm worried that that's what Pete, Donnie, and Bibi want. Because they need something to go on through the midterms so they can fucking cancel them and have martial law or whatever. We all know he's going to do it. He's been talking about it for a long fucking time. I can do it if I can put troops on us if I want to. I can put mass Gestapo out there to murder you if I want to. He said these things out loud, not using the exact adjectives I just used. You know what I mean. He's got them in your airports right now, trying to rehab their image from murderers and rapists and thieves and criminals to helping old ladies without the mask. He is the Antichrist. All the gold busts of him so far and the future ones should prove that to you. And one more time and then I'm out of here. I'm really worried he's going to start this war the next couple weekends. We're going to lose 1,000 troops, if not more, very quickly. and they're going to turn it into a war to cancel the midterms. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Don't take the mark. Listen to Lily's songs. Have a wonderful evening.